Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters, how are you all doing today? So yes, we have I've changed my location. Just wanted to try it out. We're not going to always be doing it here, but when we get the chance to, we'll try to. So today's topic is going to be about music, and I have my brother to join us.
Assalamu alaikum, guys.
And so a lot of people think that maybe, music isn't really haram, is it? Like, I think it's pretty, it's permissible, right?
Yeah.
Like, they think that some music's allowed, as long as it's not about, drugs, sex, and alcohol and drugs and whatever, and adultery, and, well, I just mentioned that, drugs and sex, right?
Money,
violence. Yeah, that's what I was trying to find. Yeah, money and violence. As long as it's not about that, it should be okay. But what they don't know is what it really does to your body. Now,
hold on. Let's first get to the real thing, the real issue in today's society, right? There is no music nowadays that doesn't have that kind of stuff in it. Okay, there is pretty much no music nowadays that doesn't have that. I mean, you could say, instrumental music, because they don't have any lyrics or anything. They don't talk about anything. They might say, "Oh, that's fine because it's just instrumental," and so on. They don't talk about anything bad because they don't talk about anything anyway. It's just instrumental. It's just enjoyment for the ears and whatnot. But that's not permissible either because of what he's about to say now. So good.
But even if it didn't have those kinds of things, it's still haram completely because of the effects it has on your body. Because when you're listening to music, what do? When you go to a club, people are moving and dancing. Okay, it doesn't need to necessarily be a club, it could be anywhere. Some people are always like shaking their heads, they're really getting into it. But if I read an ayah from the Quran, something from the Quran, how do people react to that? They won't move. They'll be really calm and collected, and they'll enjoy it. They'll be relaxed. But when you have music, you want to get up and dance. And this is actually the Shaitan's Quran. This is his word. This is him speaking, to you and getting him to do these things. Now, music started off. The way it started off was just terrible. And basically, it started off back in Shaykh al-Islam's days, and and basically before we get into when it started exactly, we'll explain and go into a bit of detail of the two nations that they had and why it was created in the first place.
Yeah, so why it was created in the first place? Well, okay, so we had the two nations who were descendants of, the two sons of Adam and Islam. Yeah, so basically you have these two nations, as you said, and they, one nation had very, good-looking girls, and the other one had, good-looking boys. Okay, and the one that had the good-looking boys had not so good-looking girls, and the other one that had the good-looking girls had not so good-looking boys. So basically, what happened was the devil, the Shaitan, Iblis, what he did was he came and he decided to work as a blacksmith, and so I can't remember exactly which side he was on, like which
he first
people he went to.
He first went to the nation, the side that Qabil had created, because after he had killed Habil, and he did that whole thing, he never repented, and he decided to start creating his own nation, and people joined him. The sons and the descendants of Adam and Islam, and they all came. Some of them came and they split into these two nations. Now, Iblis, he disguised himself as a young boy, and he went to a blacksmith, at the blacksmith he learned how to make different things. He made a flute, and he made a drum and different kinds of instruments. And when he went to the nation of Qabil, he played it, and these people were so profound. They'd never heard such a sound before. They were like, "What is this sound?" And the way they started reacting was to move and get with it, and that's where dancing started to emerge. And when the males from the other side that Shith alayhi salam was from, who is, by the way, Shith means gift, which because he was there to replace Habil after his death. And so the people from that nation, they came over, well, they were walking by, they were passing by, and they heard. And so they just took a peek over to see, and they saw really beautiful and gorgeous women just dancing and moving in a seductive way. And so they were forced and influenced to go into there. And after a while, they brought more and more, and quietly they went with
First, before that though, before they actually got seduced into it, they were kind of the shaitan sort of tricked them into thinking these relatives of ours, why are we separated from them in the first place? Because of the fact that they got seduced into it, but without realizing, they're just thinking it's our family, why not go and mingle with them? And so after that, the music and everything and all this mingling going on, from there all sorts of zina happened after that, and all sorts of other things. So
yeah, and so after that they started doing that. It was just a step. There was an extra step to get into these other haram acts, because like if Iblis, if Shaitan made it so that it went straight to that, they would know, and they would know what to expect from him. So he did it in a clever way, and he took it little by little. He took baby steps to get to that point. Now, a lot of you may be thinking, "Oh, I'm not going to be doing that. I never do that. Astaghfirullah. I'm never going to do that." But that's not the point. The point is that the shaitan, he wants you to, what it does is it messes some people up in the brain. People that get into the music industry, that get into music, they are very depressed. They're not content with life. They're very angry. And even though they may seem happy sometimes, a lot of the times, most of the time they'll go to a psychiatrist or something, and they're always talking about their problems. A lot of them will commit suicide, and it's very terrible. So I wanted to mention a very clear-cut hadith. There are many hadith and Quranic verses that explain this, and most scholars have an ijma on this issue. And I'll be posting a video link down in the description or an annotation somewhere here. So Imam Bukhari narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said that among my ummah will be those who make permissible al-hira, adultery, silk, and khamr, and musical instruments. And notice what he is saying, because he is comparing in this same thing that adultery and music and khamr, they're all together in this one narration, meaning that is the level that it is just the level of evil it has, the amount, like how bad it really is, how much of a sin it is.
Yeah, I mean nobody, you go to most Muslims, like non-practicing, they'll drink alcohol, they'll smoke weed, they'll do all sorts of drugs, you know, they'll listen to music, go clubbing, whatever, you know, but they won't eat pork. They won't eat pork though. That's where they draw the line. They won't eat pork. Now if you think about it, pork is not, you know, if you think about it, it's actually worse than eating pork. Those things are worse than eating pork because those things were actually created for an evil purpose. The origins of them are evil in the first place. The pig is not evil. The pig that you kill and eat, the pork of, that's not evil. It's a dirty animal. Yeah, it's a dirty animal. You know, that's why it's haram. You're not supposed to eat it. But the pig is actually not an evil thing. The purpose of it wasn't evil. And even then, I mean, we all know that if we are dying or whatever, you know, and there's no other food to eat except for a pig, we can eat the pig, right? Whereas this, there's no reason to listen to music. There's no reason for it. You know what I mean? There's no reason to listen. It's not like if you're dying or if you're, you know, bored or, you know, some people might say, oh, what if I'm, you know, depressed or stressed out? Maybe I can listen to music to kind of, you know, make me not as depressed, make me feel more calm, relaxed, whatnot. You know, but there are other means for that. There are other ways to get relaxed. You know, you can exercise, you can, you know, do yoga or whatever, or the best thing is listen to Quran. That's the best thing. You know, in the presence of you know, when you are basically submitting yourself to Allah, you're gonna, you know, it's gonna be much more of a relaxation, much more of a better feeling that you get from that instead. So, you know, there's no reason to listen to music.
You'll feel more content when you listen to the Quran and the words of your Lord, instead of words of people that are just low lives. Look at their lives. Look at how they are. You want to listen to what they're saying? What they're saying doesn't have any meaning. Literally has no meaning. Especially the lyrics and the disgusting things that they say these days. Just just stop listening to that. Cut this out of your life. Please. We used to be really, alhamdulillah, got out of it, but we used to be really into this thing. We used to love music. We used to, you know, always listen to it. But really, brothers and sisters, get out of it if you can.
Yeah, like I couldn't even, you know, sit on the bus without listening to some kind of music, right? Like it's just sad. Like you have, like, I felt like, you know, listening to music, like after school, I would go on the bus, listen to music on the way home, looking out the window, you know, so peaceful, so relaxing. That's what I used to feel like. It was, you know, that this kind of, you know, senselessness. And the music I used to listen to, I mean, we used to listen to, was, you know, things like, you know, like we used to think it was okay because, you know, it was against the devil. Like it was things that were kind of speaking out against, you know, the government, the Illuminati, and all that kind of stuff. So we were really into that.
We're like, yeah, come on, we're fighting the Illuminati, and then he's still swearing, you know,
that kind of stuff. So we used to think, yeah, that's good, you know, we're you know, we're awake, you know. That's what we used to think. We're not living a lie, you know.
Well, sisters, I'm gonna address this in another video, but like this is just gonna be like a brief summary of that. The fact that when you listen, when you're like, you know, when you think that you're into, when you're like, oh, I'm gonna fight the system, you know, by not supporting them, they're always watching me. Well, brothers and sisters, you're gonna get paranoid. You're gonna think that they're always watching. You can't do anything in your life, and you're gonna be like, oh, you know what, Dajjal's here, he's coming. You can't get through life.
We got to a point where we started, like, you know, researching this stuff, like Googling everything, Illuminati this, Illuminati that, Illuminati in, you know, Disney movies and things like that, right?
You know what they're doing.
How can you live your life like that?
You know what they're doing now? They're gonna do this in a few years. They're gonna do that. You know, it was getting ridiculous.
What difference does it make to your life? You know, If Allah wants something to happen, it'll happen. If He doesn't, it won't happen. You know. So what? That's how we work. Alhamdulillah, we've been, we've come out of that.
Also, I'd like to bring up one more point before we end this video. If you have beatboxing, it doesn't mean that is also halal. Yes, you can listen to nasheeds that have humming, but if it's like beatboxing that is a type that is making sounds that resemble music, and it has the same effect that music has, then it will be considered the same thing. It's still haram.
Yeah, because you have to look at not just what the thing is, but the purpose of it, right? What it's being used for. So, for example, when you look at something like alcohol, for example, if things were classified as haram based on, what the things are, alcohol wouldn't be haram then, because they are made of grapes. They're made of grapes, But when they are fermented, right, they have an effect on you and the brain when you drink it, right? When, it goes through a process of fermentation in order to make you get drunk. So that's why it's an intoxicant. That's why it's haram, because it makes you not think clearly, not because of what it is itself, because it's made of grapes. So in the same way, beatboxing is also haram, has the same effect.
So yeah, we hope you all enjoyed this video. Basically, to wrap up, what we meant was just that music, you should just cut that out of your life, and inshallah, you'll start noticing the effects that the Quran has on your soul, and you'll feel a lot better. Read it too, and once you cut that out of your life, you won't need it. If you hear it again, you'll just feel so disgusted by it.
Okay, I have a challenge for you, for anyone. Listen, try and go 1 week without listening to music. Okay, like let's say there's music around you, like you go to the mall, that's fine, because that you're not actually doing it yourself. You're not the one playing the music, listening. But try and go 1 week without music, and instead, if you really feel like you need something, listen to Quran instead. 1 week, try that, and then you'll start to see a change, hopefully, inshallah. So.
Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So this is sadly all the time that we have, and next time we'll be releasing more and more videos, and hopefully you guys can like, comment, and subscribe. I don't usually like asking for this because it makes me sound like I just want that and that's all I care about. But please, brothers and sisters, we need your help. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum, guys.